When it comes to a hazmat response, speed and accuracy are everything.
Everybody knows speed and power, baby.
Well, I mean, speed and power, right? That's a Clarkson Farm thing, but speed and accuracy, baby, that's a 908 thing.
You know the little black box, and now they got the little red box as well.
Yeah, that is why hazmat teams from all around the world, and I do mean the world, are trusting 908 devices. Their handheld MX908 and the Explorer IR are absolute game changers in this industry.
The 908 is one of those few devices out there that can identify the Novichoks.
Not only can it identify Novichoks, but it can identify all sorts of chemical warfare-based agents, as well as pharmaceutical-based agents, drugs, and explosives. And here's the key. It does it all at trace levels.
And I know the Explorer can identify and quantify over 5,000 gas and vapors in seconds. That's going to change the game.
That's why I've been saying hazmat teams around the world are trusting 908 devices. Y'all can check them out at 908devices.com and look to upgrade your metering toolbox today. So, hello, welcome to episode 480, which means T-minus 20 episodes until episode 500.
Yeah.
We're pretending to be excited about that because at this point, we're 500. We actually really don't give a crap. What we care more about is where we can interact with you all, and we can do that at multiple conferences throughout the year. We've got a pretty good list starting up. This is just the spring that we have scheduled and slated. So, Bobby, where are we going to be?
Connecticut. That's actually, as of the release, you are just finished listening to me speak. I'll be finishing up at noon. That is going to be this weekend. Central Virginia EMS Expo, March 2 and 3. Wisconsin, WAMR, 5. That's going to be, I believe, March 5 and 6. Oklahoma, March 5 through the 8th. New England, March 25th through the 27th. Michigan and OMRA, just to start the year.
Come on out and buy us a beer. Highly recommend.
Crazy. That was Brian trying to get in touch with us, but I can't do it right now, baby. I'm in the middle of something.
We should start just picking up phone calls. Like if one of us forgets to turn the ringer off, just like, hey, no. We're in the middle of a podcast, and watch how uncomfortable the other person gets where they're like, wait, are you on air live now? And you're like, yeah. In fact, everyone can hear you. Say hi.
All right. So we're going to be talking about something. I remember it came up because of that show Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And it was about the guy put the body into a plastic container and put the acid into it, and then it melted through it, and he didn't even know that there was like different plastics.
Yes, it was a hydrofluoric acid, and he put it into a plastic tub. It was either a tub or a ceramic tub. It was something. It was something that when you watched it and you knew anything about, you were like, okay, no, it doesn't exactly work. But through the magic of TV, it did. But yeah, so we started talking about plastic containers, and there is things that you want to be very specific with what you put in, right? When we talk about overpacking, we want to make sure that everything that we overpack that thing in is compatible, right? We don't want to put nitric acid in carbon steel. We don't want to put, something that's going to eat away plastic. I wouldn't want to put gasoline in a styrofoam cooler. Like, it's just not going to work out well. Not for you. The fire department will work out phenomenal for you. It'll help keep them in business. But for you, it won't work out well. So we're going to dig into some plastic.
Yeah, so why plastic matters in hazmat response. Let's start there. Okay. Plastic containers are a huge part of our container cadre, right? In hazmat, because they're versatile, they're durable, they have great chemical resistance. However, not all plastics are created equal, and the wrong choice can result in the breaches, like we were just talking about with Breaking Bad, chemical reactions, environmental contamination, and even more. So understanding those properties in different plastics is going to be a big part of ensuring that the proper application for that job.
Yeah, and I can pretty much guarantee you that as a first responder, I don't know too much about plastics. Like, let's be honest. Like, how much do you really know about plastic? I know the triangle means I could recycle it, right?
Right.
I know starboard is insanely expensive, and you could technically make it yourself. Anybody out there does any kind of boating, you know what starboard is. But we don't really understand what these plastics are. They each have a distinct property. You know, there's the ones that are recycled. There's ones that not recycled. There's numbers on them that identify the different plastics. What do those different plastics mean? What do those different plastics mean? How can I use them in my response? And how can I make sure the situation doesn't go sideways because of that response? So we got a whole list of plastics here, right? If you take a look at the bottom of a plastic container and you have that number 1, well, that number 1 stands for PET, or polyethylene terephthalate. What? I am so bad with pronouncing chemistry words. Let's try this again.
Phthalate.
Phthalate.
Yeah, the P's.
That is
the P is empty.
It's an empty and an F at the same time. It's very weird. This is what is used in beverage containers, right? It's strong, but it's not really suitable for highly reactive chemicals. The next one up from there is number 2. This is our HDPE, otherwise known as a high-density polyethylene, and it is ideal for storing the opposite of the non-reactive chemicals, right? This is great for highly corrosive materials. This is why we see a lot of HDPE stuff in soda bottles and that starboard material I was.
And just so everybody understands what we're talking about, is that you got that little triangle. Look at your soda bottle, whatever plastic you're looking at. And then you have that little triangle that Mike was talking about, the recycle thing. And in the center of it will be a number. That's what we're talking about here, right? So your 3, when you have the 3 in the middle, that is PVCs, right? That's polyvinyl chloride, which is used in pipes, chemical resistance containers, vulnerable to solvents, all types of stuff there. Then you got number 4. You have your low density polyethylene, which is used in flexible containers, but less chemically resistant than HDPE.
And then you have your number. Go ahead. Sorry. All right. So now you have your number 5s, right? Your number 5s are your polypropylene, which are resistant to many chemicals. And we actually use these quite significantly in hazmat applications. Our number 6 is polystyrene. This is rarely used in hazmat. Okay, this is your quite literally your styrofoam. And then our number 7 is other, right? Could you imagine overpacking something in styrofoam? Like it works great for coffee. It doesn't work great for chemicals. Then number 7 is your catch-all other, and it's specialized plastics such as polycarbonate or PEEK, which can offer advanced properties and generally used and engineered for extreme situations.
Let's break these down because the quick overview only does a little bit of justice. So let's start with number 1, the HDPE, the high-density polyethylene. HDPE, or no, I'm sorry, it's not number 1. It's just first on our list.
First on our list, yeah. Number 1 on the triangle is the other one. Number 2 on the triangle is HDPE. And yeah, I put them in a shitty order.
That's okay. So HDPE is a workhorse plastic in hazmat. Its excellent balance has of strength, chemical resistance, and affordability. So let's go through the strengths. It's resistant to acids, bases, and alcohols. It can take a beating with impacts, abrasion, make it a really good medium to transport and store corrosives. Where we typically apply this thing is it's used in like drums, storage tanks, even the totes. I believe totes are made out of HDPE. But even the trays, like the containment trays, like that go underneath things, typically HDPE.
But it does have its kryptonite, right? HDPE is super vulnerable to strong oxidizers like chlorine or concentrated nitric acid. So HDPE can be deformed under, I'm not even going to say super high temperatures, even medium temperatures within the hundreds. It can absolutely deform and become very, very flexible. Some of the pros to it, right? Or rather a pro tip that we always want to go towards is we always want to double check the HDPE compatibility with the specific chemical that you're using to avoid some kind of unexpected reaction.
Right, because you're going to have things that work with it and things that don't. Like, it works with acids, right? Like hydrochloric, all concentrations. Sulfuric, up to 70%. Right, and that's kind of a big thing. If you got 100%, it might not work. Or it might work for a little while and then maybe not so much. Long. Nitric acid, up to 50%. Phosphoric acid, acetic acid. These things will work. But again, you got to check it out. Expand your tech ref to find out what chemical or what plastic it's compatible with.
But that's great because if you do have, say, a 75% nitric acid, and we know it's up to 50%, we could always dilute it down below 50, and then we have a reasonable storage container.
I like that.
But again, this is all about your tech ref. Honestly, I'm not quite sure I'd be comfortable putting 50% of nitric acid in something that only goes up to 50%. I think over time there might be an issue with that. So I would just, again, do your research before you do something. The opposite of the acids are the bases. We got sodium hydroxide of all concentrations, potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. Again, this material works very well with the acids and the bases.
You got your salts like sodium chloride, which is, everybody's favorite table salt. Calcium chloride, everybody's favorite ice melter, and potassium chloride.
Our alcohols include methane, ethanol, propanol. All right, these are generally the containers. If you flip over a rubbing alcohol container, it's more than likely going to be a number 2.
You can also do hydrogen peroxide up to 30% because that stuff starts getting really nasty. Glycerin, water, anything like that.
Some of the things that are incompatible with this material is within the hydrocarbon range are going to be things like benzene, toluene, xylene. We also have halogenated solvents such as chloroform, which, if you're ever trying to go out and knock hookers out, we know how poorly that works trying to put the chloroform into a soda bottle. Carbon tetrachloride and trichloroethene are all things that are not going to be compatible with this material.
Even your ketones, your acetone, your mech, which is methyl ketones, your esters, your ethyl acetate, your butyl acetate, no bueno.
And we have on the flip side of some of the acids that were mentioned before, nitric acids above 50, sulfuric acids above 80%, bromine and chlorine, either as a gas or a concentrated solution of some sort.
And then you have some dangerous compatibilities. And while the HDPE is generally safe for many chemicals, there are potentially dangerous situations to be aware of, like oxidizing acids, concentrated nitric acid, as we just said, chromic acid can degrade the HDPE over time, leading to container failure and dangerous leaks.
We already mentioned some of the organic solvents like benzene and toluene. How do they end up causing damage is that they can permeate through the actual HDPE. I do not know why I'm mixing up my letters so badly today. Damn dyslexia. And you have the potential for allowing vapors to escape the container because it's literally permeating through.
Right. You got your halogens, which everything in group 17 pretty much is they're going to degrade it.
As you start to increase the temperature of the HDPE, you start to reduce its chemical resistance. So as temperatures start to elevate, you may end up with incompatibilities that were compatible at room temperature.
And also long-term storage. And I don't, it's not here on our outline, but I believe the sun breaks down this plastic too. I think if you leave it out for long enough, it breaks it down.
Yeah, because there's some plastics that don't break down with the sunlight, and that's where everybody, the plastics last forever. And there are some that, they become very brittle.
Right. Well,
our next chemical up on the list is our polypropylene. I kind of know this material best as the rope that is used in the marine world that floats on the water, right? That's our polypropylene. It is extremely versatile. It is super lightweight in nature, and it actually has a tremendous amount of chemical resistance. It can handle acids, organic solvents, corrosive solutions, really impressively effectively. And it can also maintain its integrity within low temperature conditions. Now, remember, when things get super, super cold, a lot of plastics become brittle. Polypropylene doesn't do that. It's ideal for chemical sprayers, storage containers, and low temperature equipment.
Hey, Mike, take a look around you and tell me how many lithium ion batteries you have around you right now.
Oh, I got about 5 or 6 right here on the desk.
Exactly. Batteries are everywhere, and every department in this nation is starting to deal with battery fires on a regular basis. And we're excited to tell you that a new product that mitigates battery fires on the go is from DeGeo, and this product is a game changer.
DeGeo is the newest packing division of Label Master, and their new team, they get it. They have been in the hazmat industry for over 60 years, and I bet you don't even realize that you've seen their placards and labels in your house from your online order.
They have dropped a new granular product called ObexionFR, which will solve your insulated battery needs. And we can say this product actually lives up to the hype because we've tested it firsthand. Most importantly, the product is proven to reduce the toxic gases emitted when a battery kicks off. So to learn more, go to ObexionFR.com. That's ObexionFR.com. Now, you know what? It's another thing I hate?
Getting certain body parts caught in a zipper.
I hate my face burning off.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty, honestly, those two things are pretty close, but what the heck happened that your face is burning off?
Well, from radiation, or actually not knowing about radiation being around me.
Oh, well, that's pretty valid, but it's a good thing that we've been playing with the new meters from Mirion because they are top shelf devices.
Yeah, I'm going to bet a bunch of you don't even know who Mirion is, and it's not a girl I used to date. I didn't even know who it was until we actually started talking to them, and wow. Like, there is more than meets the eye with these guys.
Yeah, we looked them up. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. We had absolutely no idea how much they reached into the medical, nuclear, safety, and defense sectors.
Yeah, and so for first responders, they've got some really cool tech like the AccuRad, the Spear Ace, the Spear View, that will help you detect and monitor radiation quickly and accurately so that you can make smart decisions on the fly.
Check them out at Mirion.com. That's Mirion.com.
Now, this is one of the things where UV degradation and does not perform well with strong oxidizers. So if you are a technical rescue guy or something like that, they always say, don't leave don't dry your ropes in the sun. It will degrade the rope. And so when you're doing this, let's say for those rope guys out there, you're supposed to be using UV stabilized polypropylene for outdoor hazmat applications, or even when you're doing you're washing your rope. I know this is not really a rope show, but you pay attention to the UV brighteners in the detergents. Typically, you can't wash it with just regular detergent.
That's a great little pro tip. Chemical compatibility, right? We've got our acids. We have our normal hydrochloric acid up to 30%, sulfuric acid up to 50%, and acetic acid of all concentrations, which means you can use polyethylene to eat your salad. Citric acid is also a great chemical compatibility.
Bases, we got the sodium hydroxide, which is our caustic soda, and ammonium hydroxide. Works for it.
Salts, we got our sodium chloride, our aluminum chloride, and copper sulfate.
Alcohols, pretty much ethanol, methanol, propanol, all of them work.
We've got our hydrogen peroxide, our glycerine, and our vegetable oils. Now we're starting to see a couple of different oils, even though we wouldn't consider vegetable oil to be caustic or degrade anything. Hydrocarbons absorb hydrocarbons. So this material is really good at holding just your normal single chain hydrocarbons.
Incompatibilities. Benzene, toluene, xylene, ene, those things go through it.
Your halogenated solutions, your chloroform, your carbon tetrachloride, and your methyl chloride. Again, we want to be very careful with our halogen group.
Ketones will run right through it like it's cotton candy. Yes. Acetone at high temperatures, methyl ethyl ketones will go bad.
Our esters are very similar to our ketones. The ethyl acetate and the amyl acetate, they're not going to be very compatible.
And also the sulfuric acid in higher concentrations, the concentration nitric acid, and anything that's a strong oxidizing agent.
There is nothing that's out there that is fully compatible with everything in the world. And there are extreme reactivity to something. Everything has an extreme reactivity to something. So what are some of the dangerous compatibilities with polypropylene? It is going to be strong oxidizing agents. Remember, plastics are hydrocarbons. Oxidizing agents are one of those checkoff boxes that we're going to see an awful lot because they are fuel. So strong oxidizers can cause rapid degradation and potentially lead to a very fast container failure.
Right. We talked about the high concentration of sulfuric and nitric, chlorinated solvents. Once again, anything in that chlorine, that halogen group can cause some stress cracking that could lead to unexpected failures.
Chemical resistance as temperature increases is going to decrease. So we have to keep that in mind. Chemical, again, that's safe at room temperature may not be at higher temperatures. Polypropylene is it's well known to stress crack, right? It's kind of a more rigid plastic. And if we include things like detergents, surfactants, certain oils, they can reduce it's not tactile. What's the measurement of brittleness? I can't remember it off the top. Tensile strength?
Bricks. Yeah, it's tensile strength, but
it's tensile strength. But all right. So under tension and under load, it can cause these containers to fail quickly.
Yeah, and while you can use it for hydrogen peroxide under 30%, when you start getting up, it actually start degrading it and elevating the temperature, which is not good for this type.
Yeah. PVC is our next plastic that we kind of want to talk about. And we are very familiar with PVC in our world. It is a lot of our plumbing pipes are polyvinyl chloride. And they are often used at hazmat scenes because PVC is really rigid and has tremendous chemical resistance until it doesn't. Like, it's one of those like all or nothing type things. And you will know very quickly if you interact with a chemical that it is not compatible with. It's going to perform well at low concentrations of acids, bases, and salts. Type 1 PVC is often very rigid, and type 2 PVC is just a little bit more flexibility. We see it often in pipes, fittings, and other chemical-resistant containers that are specifically designed for that chemical.
A lot of you guys out there use your pH paper goes in like a clear case, the one with the 4 different panels. That case is clear PVC. So nice to know. It's the type 2 more flexible stuff, but it does have some limitations like poor resistance to organic solvents and high temperatures. So overheating PVC can release some toxic fumes. And so when you have your choice, you want to try to opt for type 2 PVC because it's flexible in applications requiring a little bit more resilience and mechanical stress.
All right, so comparing chemical compatibilities again, our hydrochloric acid pops up at up to 30%. So, we can see that now we're talking about lower concentrations. Sulfuric acid up to 50% and phosphoric acid.
Right, and we have some bases like sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. We've talked about those.
It can handle the same salts, your sodium chloride and your calcium chloride.
All alcohols, the same, ethanol, methanol, propanol.
We can use hydrogen peroxide, water. Everybody may laugh, but there are some things that water is not a great container for, and citric acid.
Now, incompatibilities. Once again, the benzenes, the toluenes, the xylenes, enes.
Our halogens are going to be within that same, your chloroforms, your carbon tetrachlorides, your methyl chlorides.
Yep, your ketones.
Your esters. Same ones, right? And you guys, this is what makes the plastics difficult because oftentimes so many of them are so similar that we forget that there are small variations to each one of these.
There is. It's almost like you can make like a little Venn diagram thing. And also, I just want to point out that we are going to have a chart that'll be part of this episode. But I think the only way you're going to be able to get it, because I don't think you could do it through a podcast, is through the website. So find this episode on the website, and there'll be a link to download our little chart that you can print out and put on the rig.
And then we have dangerous compatibilities, right? What are the things that we absolutely want to keep PVC away from? All right. Dioxane formations. When PVC is burned or incinerated, it can release highly toxic dioxines, which are known carcinogens and can cause severe health problems. So what is that saying? Thermal harm Dude, PVC can produce toxic materials, so keep it away from heat.
If you remember back on the episode or the event of Palestine, when they were burning PVC at that train derailment,
wasn't the AT&T building, the AT&T fire in New York City,
covering
all those plastic coverings burnt up? Yep. And
if you have like a big electrical vault fire and you're burning and the wiring is burning off, that's the stuff that's coming out in the smoke. So that's why you wear an SCBA.
You can smell that. It's stringent.
Yeah. You have phthalate leaching, like PVC products can leach phthalates, which are chemical softeners that have been linked to hormonal disruption and developmental issues. And then you can have vinyl chloride exposure, which is the production and disposal of PVC can release vinyl chloride, which is a known human carcinogen associated with liver, brain, and lung cancers.
And again, we're going to check off strong oxidizing agents as well as high temperature applications are places that we don't want to put PVC.
Right. And then you have some long-term exposures, like some chemicals that are initially compatible may cause stress cracking or degradation over extended times, especially under stress or higher temperatures. So I think that's going to wrap up this one for this week. Are you guys ready to train differently? Head to thehazmatguys.com, book your customized training, pick up your copy of Nerd Volume 2, browse the exclusive swag, get your department added to the grant funding list, and stay updated on all things THMG. Don't wait. Secure your team spot today.